Hey, well, good evening and welcome to American Reversion. How are you all? I'm Steve Smith. I wasn't going to do one this evening. I'm waiting for Kelly to get home and make our tacos. But a couple of things happened that came together and made me realize that I needed to make this one. I just put up something. I just saw it and put it up on the Patreon channel. If you're not with us over there, the link is down below. If you'd like to join us, please do. Would love to have you. A lot more stuff goes up over there than you'll see on YouTube. And it was Ron Johnson, Senator Ron Johnson, talking to Larry Kudlow on Kudlow's Fox Business show. And he said he was talking about this Durham report that came out. And he says, this is the deep state being revealed. And he went through a number of things. And he says the problem is that the media won't cover it. That's a big mistake, and I'm going to explain it in a minute. Just before I saw that, a good friend of mine called and talking about politics. He asked me if I had heard about something, and then we got into more about, well, the Durham report and everything that's going on. You know, the country's falling apart. And he says, but the media won't cover it. And I said, wait a minute. You don't understand. Now, I'm older than most people that I talk to. Maybe not all of you, but I'm old enough to remember some things. And as I told my friend, and what I would remind Ron Johnson of is this. Up until 1988, all of the media pretty much was on the same side. Okay, ABC, NBC, CBS. You had three networks that put out all of the news, plus NPR and PBS, right? That was it. Something happened in 1988 that blew all that away, and it was called Rush Limbaugh. He came on the national scene with his radio show. It was the first voice of conservatism most people had heard. You know, we had had some conservatives in politics before that, Barry Goldwater, for instance, Ronald Reagan, but they didn't have the media voice. Rush brought that to the forefront. That was before Fox ever started. It was before Hannity ever started, before Michael Savage, before, who else is that? Glenn Beck. And Rush Limbaugh is the one that set that. He opened up an entirely new landscape of media. Now follow me here because you're involved in this. This is about us. That changed the media. Until now, most of what you would consider the media, we have Fox, which isn't conservative at all. It's not what it used to be. And what it used to be was it was a shock almost that it was in such juxtaposition to what most people had been used to with the three networks, okay? It had CNN, but CNN was, it's always been CNN. What is called now the alternative media has a much wider reach than what's called the mainstream media. We shouldn't even use that term anymore. It's not mainstream. The person who nicknamed it lamestream, whoever that was, is exactly right. Conservative media has a much wider viewership and listenership than does the left wing. It's just all these, it's not the old, the three big networks, okay? But their viewership has been plummeting over the last 20 years. Most of the big newspapers are out of business. They carried a lot of weight. And they just kind of regurgitate, MSN, BC and CNN will regurgitate Washington Post and New York Times and stuff like that, to kind of give to support themselves. It's just an incestuous relationship. The real media nowadays is this, and it's you. And it's people like Bongino who have gone over to Rumble and Gab or what. I'm not on Gab, so I don't know anything about them. But the conservative media is much larger, although more fragmented, than the so-called liberal media. Okay? When you add on those media outlets and you add on all the social media like this, like Facebook, like TikTok, like Twitter, like all those things, those dwarf what people like to call the media. They should understand the media is everything now. That's why it's important to be involved in this. And I told my friend, I said, I was talking to my oldest, my 16-year-old, and we were talking about, and there's been more instances since then, but a little while ago we were talking about Ukraine, and I was starting to tell him something about Ukraine, and he says, yeah, I know all that. And he came back and told me the truth about Ukraine, because I was trying to tell him, don't believe what you're hearing about Ukraine. He said, no, I don't. He says, and he spilled the truth about Ukraine to me. I said, where did you learn that? He says, TikTok. He says, all of his friends, everybody his age, now we live in a fairly conservative area. It's actually becoming purple, but his school is very conservative and all that. He said all of his friends are on TikTok. That's where they get their news, and they see all of the truth. They see the truth. I asked him, I said, but our government wants to outlaw TikTok because it's controlled by the Chinese, right? And yet when I look at stuff that comes across on TikTok, it's the truth. Ask yourself, why does your government not want to have you watching an outlet that tells the truth? Now, there's a lot of trash on there too. A lot of trash on TikTok. But the young people are learning the truth about things through TikTok. The point of all this is this, that we can't whine about, I almost said a word, we can't whine about how unfair the media is. Because the media is what it is. It's not nearly as bad as it used to be. People think that the media is all bad now. Hey, you should have been back when there was only 3 networks and they were all saying the same thing. We now have many, many outlets. So when you think about media, stop this stuff about the media this and the media that. You are the media. This is the media, not a very big one, but there's bigger channels. And that's why it's important to support, not just me, and I appreciate your support. Any of you who support me in this, I appreciate that. But support everybody who is trying to get the truth out there, okay? Because this is the media. And the people who are on our side and promoting the truth far outnumber those who are not. That's the truth of the matter. Now, we still have the Democrats, and Ron Johnson made this statement, if we can just get the media to report it, and if we can just get our Democrat colleagues to join us in cleaning up the swamp. Okay, well, that's stupid, Ron, and you're probably just putting it out there to sound reasonable. You're never going to get the Democrats to come out and help drain the swamp. Not going to happen because they're all a bunch of Marxists. They want this. This is their power base. It's like asking them to kill themselves. It's not going to happen. So stop that. Recognize and admit and have the cojones to come out and say, hey, my colleagues, well, I know that they have a rule against talking badly about their colleagues. But they seem to like the deep state. How about that? They like the corruption in the government. But we don't. And we're going to fight against it. And if we will use the media, which means social media, along with what they call the alternative media or conservative leaning, which is larger now. It's larger. You look at the figures on all the cable shows, it's always Fox that is ripping them up. And I'm glad to see that Newsmax and One American News, and there's another one coming up, a Christian one coming up. I don't remember what it's called. They're kicking the dickens out of CNN and MSNBC and all that stuff. That CNN, MSNBC doesn't even begin to rise to the level of Fox and these others. So, there's no need to complain about the media, because we can control the media. If we will participate in and support these people who are out there, my channel, other channels, your channel, if you have a channel, or if you'd like to start a channel, start one. Doesn't matter if you have 10 of your friends watching. You spread the word out there, and you get people interested. If 10 of your friends will watch, that's 10 people that may send it to a friend of theirs and say, hey, look, I got a friend that's got a channel, and he's talking about what we're talking about, and he laid it out, and you ought to watch him. So do it. But nobody should be complaining about the media, okay, if they will just use and support the media that we have. Anyway, that's why Kelly just got home with the taco shells. We ran out of taco shells. How could that happen in America, right? But I wanted to get that on here. I want to tell you, we've had so many more people joining us on the Patreon channel. I really appreciate that. If you're not with us and you would like to join us, whatever people pledge over there, I put right back into helping me do what I'm doing here. And hopefully it helps everybody. So I appreciate those of you who are supporting me over there. I appreciate those of you who are watching me on here. And, give me a thumbs up and give me a recommend and put down a comment and share this with friends. But we should not be complaining about the media, because we have a lot of the media. We just have to be using it right. I'm going to go eat tacos. You all have a great night. Remember that America needs a reversion, and it needs you to be a part of it. It needs me to be a part of it. It needs all of us to be a part of it. So you all have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.